sit up here because now it is all cool to be a freaking anime person, to downplay the realness of watching anime on a Spanish channel just because you didn't have cable. I would watch Dragon Ball Z on Sunday mornings at about 10 a.m. on the Telemundo's channel in Spanish just to freaking watch it because didn't have freaking cable. It's just all like, I do not want to hear about the anime or whether or not it's dubbed or sub. I didn't care. I just wanted to physically see these characters going ham and power ups because I don't need that translated. He's doing a Kamehameha. That is universal, like as far as the language. Like,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I mean that's true. It's interesting. I don't know why I never did that. Honestly, I never watched it when it was on like the Spanish ones. I mean, I probably did. I'm just thinking back to it. I don't really remember it. But anyway, all right. Let's get into this episode.
yes, yes. All
Where
right.
you want to go
So
first?
yeah. So besides the random this that has been going on as far as like with the world of technology,
Mm.
um I'm gonna start off with this because this has been something that has been popping up, especially with the rise of AI. Is creatives how you're gonna be making money and different things like that. So, from CreativeBoom.com, this is the Creativepreneur Starter Pack for 2026: How to make money from your talents. Now,
Mm.
one thing that I will preface as far as with this, I think a lot of artists can be um they look at business and money in general in this weird way to where they want to make a living off their art, but they don't want to do any of the business side of things, or they feel like by them positioning their stuff, they're a quote unquote sellout or only doing it for money.
Mm-hmm.
Throw all that ish out the window. Like, it is not a. Can you get into a space where you're more focused on, making money and doing things to make money? It's not the act of doing something for money that is the bad thing. It is when you sacrifice your art in order to make money, and you don't need to do that. And I think that people do that because of the lack of knowledge when it comes to business and even understanding business, in general. They look at capitalism, they look at everything as icky, but then they participate in it in ways that it's just all like, look, you literally are doing it. You just need a particular shift in, what it is that you're doing. So with that being said, this article says, so they go into this whole crazy thing about themselves. But now, how the price should work. The biggest mistake we creators make is charging too little. The trick is to work backwards from the income you aim to earn in a year, taking into account holidays, sick days, and the hours you spend on office admin. If you've come from a salary job, a good rule of thumb is to aim for approximately 2.5 times your old daily wage. Now, what's interesting about this is most creatives aren't going to come from a salaried background. you know it can happen. Like I was 19 on salary working at FYE as a assistant manager, but that wasn't what I ended as far as career or work wise when I left, as far as the 9 to 5, as far as grind. What I try to look at as far as with this is just literally looking at it as the setup of your 9 to 5 job. I think a lot of artists, if they take that mindset that, oh, I need a system, because the 9 to 5 job already has the built-in system for you.
Mm.
You have to create that system as the artist. So in order, and how do the 9 to 5 set up their system? They set it up around profit. What is it that they do, or what products that they have, or what services are they doing or providing that creates as far as this income. And then you also have to look at the fact that usually it is from a bulk that the whole company, so there's multiple systems in order to get this annual, amount that then gets paid as far as to everybody. So when they say working backwards as far as what you like to aim, so a lot of times us as creators, we want to shoot to the moon instead of being like, okay, in the 9 to 5 world, I was making 35,000 as far as annually. So how do I replicate that in my creative endeavors? And it's usually not going to be one thing. And even in the 9 to 5, it's not one thing you're usually doing. You're usually doing for your hourly wage. You're usually doing multiple things. Even if you're working customer support, you're not just doing customer support. You may also be doing tech stuff. You may also be doing billing stuff. You may also have to go into research as far as to learn whatever new updates for your system that you're using. Even if we're talking about restaurant, as far as working even at McDonald's, you're not usually just taking orders. Sometimes you're switching out and just doing cashier stuff, or switching out and flipping the burgers or different things like that. Or you got to do janitorial stuff, spray down, the tables, different things like that. So it is going to be multiple things that is going to equate for that annual income. From there, you're able to scale. But if you haven't reached the income that you've even got when you're doing that, that's where a lot of different things come into play, and so when I hear as far as them say like work backwards from your salary, it's just like, okay, if you were salaried, then yes, then that works for you. But also if you work 9 to 5, you want to look at it the same way. And so once you got some solid results under your belt, value-based pricing becomes the dream. And so they're talking about as far as pricing things. So depending on what field you are, if this is service, well, it goes both ways, whether it's service-based or product-based. Artists do have an issue as far as with charging, because especially if you don't have anything built up, your product or service has to speak for itself. And you also have to look at, okay, there's going to be some dirt that I'm going to have to be in while I get certain clients. So yeah, there may be certain clients that if you're doing a service-based thing, that you may have to get below as far as whatever, but your main thing is to build a resume. You can say as far as like, hey, this is what it is that I want, but you're really building up as far as from that. If it's a product, even when it comes to musicians, it really doesn't matter what product, whether it's a book, whether it's a CD, whether it's a digital product, a painting, anything like that. Yeah, there could be as far as a weird relationship as far as with pricing. But through my personal experience as far as with pricing, I stand firm. I've had Ideas of Illusion be $20 the entire time. Like it's been out for years. I have not strayed away from in public or on my website selling it for $20. Are there times that I sell it for less depending on the customer? Yes, there's sometimes I've sold it for 15. There's sometimes that I've sold it for 10, but the baseline has always been $20. And I think that when pricing, you want to look at something, because it's not unreasonable. You got to do research to be like, okay, on average, when a new book drops in stores and Barnes and Nobles and different things like that, it's going to be that price or more. It's just like, so it's really the same thing, Exactly, and then so they go into how to get paid promptly. Of course, good pricing only works if people actually pay you. Back in my days of spreadsheets, I'll wait months for money to appear. Now, thanks to SumUp, the process is staggeringly easy. So at markets or pop-ups, you hand someone, a SumUp reader. They tap elsewhere. QR codes have become tiny business heroes. Now, again, they're talking about the creativepreneur, which is in all different shapes or sizes. I would say this doesn't resonate with me because I'm not waited a couple of months as far as for a payment from a book, to get there, But again, our services where, you're making an invoice and you have as far as 90 days, 60 days, 30 days as far as to provide that invoice. So I think, that would be the last thing I get from this article. I would just say for the creativepreneur in 2026, understand as far as what the product is or services that you are wanting to provide, and understand that you're going to have to not add a bunch of different things, because again, if you're just starting off, the first year is getting a lot of the information. Second year is applying that information, but also seeing if there's any similarities and trends that happen on a yearly basis. And then boom, third year you're taking that info. So it's constantly, you know getting that information, using it, applying it, but then also not falling into the trap of, oh, if I add this new product, this will be the thing that does this, or if I add this additional service, this will be the thing that does this. That throws off everything, and honestly, it doesn't. The probability of that even working the way that you think it's going to work is pretty much slim to zero. So one, not even just like one product, because you could be someone who is constantly producing, like for us, like whether it be musicians, so constantly having a new song or album, as writing, constantly having as far as short stories, books, or different things like that, poetry, painting, different things like that. If you are a creator that has a large output just by default in the way that you do things, that's fine. But that's not the same as being like, okay, I'm putting as far as this output within this, and now let me go ahead and add something to that. No, you actually have something great, and you create that system that allows for when you do release something, there is something that allows. It's almost like a what you would call it. It's like you have it go through as far as the conveyor belt, of creation. And then when that is created, how is that now packaged? How is that now what places is it being put into? Is it being put in HEB? Is it just like a digital setup? Is it X, Y, and Z? And so the creativepreneur, make sure you have your website, your hub, that is nothing, no one else is going to be able to do anything with that. You're not bound by someone else's whatchamacallit. So that being your hub and establishing that ASAP is going to be your best friend. Having a digital store is going to be your best friend. That's tied to that. From there, you can branch out, because if you're creative, you create. That's what you're going to do. This part is the business. You still create, but you need to plug it into a business strategy. So, yeah, that's my first little thing. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's very cool. It's very cool stuff. I think about a lot, especially even today. I was thinking about the business. I think people think they don't like business for the same reason that they think they don't like math or something like that. The fact is, it's just a whole different skill set, and
Yeah,
it's a lot of things to learn, and there's like a million ways to do everything. And so, just like whatever it is that is your main thing as a creative, whatever that is, that took you probably decades to learn how to do. So yeah, when you get into business, you're not going to be good at it for a while.
yeah,
There's ways to accelerate that. Obviously, I think that's one thing that Gary Vee really helped me with, because like even with, I don't think if I had any real business experience before that. I really didn't have that much business experience in my youth. I had the creative side of it. Like I would try to start different businesses in like high school and stuff like that. Um, but it's just so big. It's so big. It's just like playing piano, or doing anything that, whatever it is that you do as a creative, it takes years to know how to do it. And I think the same thing with business. It takes a long time, and you're just gonna have to get used to it. Get used to trying new things and doing lots of research. looking at reputable sources and stuff like that for different ways of doing stuff, and then getting out there. But anyway, I like that. Okay, let's keep it. Let's keep it rolling. Um, One thing that they had in here that that I saw. I don't have a whole article on it, just to talk about it. I guess see what you think about the smart glasses that are
Mm,
dropping right now. I think honestly that smart glasses are going to be the new iPhones
mm.
um, pretty soon. I don't know. I don't know. But I think they'll definitely take a good amount of market share from it because I'm just like, why did the computer go into the phone? I think that was just because um, there were two emerging technologies, cell phones and computing, and it just made sense because you already had your cell phone on you. But I think computers have been looking for a new place to rest. The watch, that's good. But I think the glasses adds a lot from what I've seen. Now I need to try them. I'm gonna get these.
Yeah.
I really want the new Meta, the Ray-Ban ones. I love them. I want to get them, especially if they have a sunglass version of them. I don't think they do because I don't know how that would work. But and then they got the translation in there. They got the screens in there in a real way, and you can
Uh,
record. Got a
oh
nice
snap!
camera in there, so I can just be like, okay, record this scene, and it's getting my. Uh,
You know, I I like it, but I also think for the general public,
mm,
um, if people to multitask on that particular level because it's just all like it's for one. I do give the human mind a lot of credit, you know, and I can see as far as the uses for it, especially that translation feature, to where it of course we got that with our phones and different AI, different things like that, but to have it as far as even if it gets to the point where it's like the person is talking and actively it is translating for you to hear, but also
oh yeah,
visibly you could like see what's going on, and to where it's
yeah, if it's
not.
reading in another language.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that there is going to be a lot of uses for it. I look at it like before it gets to the general public, I feel like we're going to see a lot of. I feel like where it's going to push, and the people who are going to push it, is going to be people who are doing uh, IRL streaming.
Oh yeah,
And I think that
yeah.
I feel like once you start seeing just how cool the display will probably show up as far as the live stream and different things like that, and people are just like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. But I still feel like we're going to be 2 to 5 years of that aspect of things before the general, like there's general public interest as far as it, but I feel like the we're not really going to see that start integrating, which is still a short period of time really for
Mm-hmm.
the next like decade, but that's still a short period of
Right.
time as far as for it to be integrated
Yeah, yeah.
and to be a regular type, because I didn't think that things like freaking what's the voice thing in the houses, the
Doorbells.
no, the one that you can talk to it
Oh,
and
the
it's
Amazon Echoes or Amazon
yeah, like the Amazon Echoes
Google
and the
Homes.
yeah. So I didn't think that that would be almost kind of like
Yeah,
a staple in some
ubiquitous.
things, but it is, like it really, and people are finding real gangster uses for it, like, and so I'm just like, okay, this, when it comes to being fans of sci-fi, this is wild to me. It is wild because it's all like we literally seen aspects of this in the future. And what's crazy about those sci-fi movies is none of them depict this moment. none of them depict the moments as that stuff is integrated. It's already established, because it's almost like our minds can comprehend as far as the imagination aspect of it being integrated already.
Yeah.
But how that even the intricacies
Yeah.
on how those things actually start to bud before it even gets to that point, I need to see that in the sci-fi movie.
I think it's yeah, it's so interesting, it's so complicated. I think the closest you get to that is like a Steve Jobs movie or like a Social Network or something like that, where or even when it's like the documentary of the entrepreneur who launched it. I think that's usually like the closest you get because it's so complicated. It's such like a complicated
Yeah.
journey. How else do you even really explain some of these things? And it's quite fascinating. That's why I think products are such a interesting aspect of reality. I think it's like okay, when a human being takes a, that's why it's hard. Not everyone gets to make a product in their life. I mean, to a certain degree, I guess you do. It's like we get to make a song, but to like invent a new thing, which you can do. Actually, I think that's the cool thing about art is that you get to do it a little bit more because, like with music or painting or a book or something like that, just by bending genres, you can invent a new genre, and then
Yeah.
and that's kind of what it really means to be a musician, unless you're just doing covers. But even if you do covers, you're still probably going to do something different. It's going to be hard to do it exactly the same. But okay, next thing, we just got a few quick gadgets. Portable projectors. I almost think I should be like, okay, out of these next four gadgets, which one do you think is going to be the biggest one? Actually,
Okay.
out of all of them, we'll keep smart glasses in there. Smart glasses, portable projectors. They got the ZGME Mogo 3 Pro. Don't know what that is. Portable projectors stand out that one stands out because it's one of the first to license Google TV, providing a seamless user interface for streaming apps like Netflix or Disney. Okay, so portable projectors instead of TVs, interesting. Smart home devices, like the Dream X50 Ultra or the Leafy Pod. The robot home is getting closer to reality. The Dream X50 Ultra is a robot vacuum that can navigate small thresholds. So, so I guess we're talking more like the vacuumers. While the Leafy Pod is an AI-powered smart planter that uses environmental sensors to monitor a plant's health and even water it automatically. Okay, so smart devices. So we've done portable projectors, smart glasses, smart devices,
Okay.
e-readers, books, Palma 2 mobile, Amazon Kindle, obviously. E-readers. I don't know if I need to go into that too much. We all know e-readers. The Amazon Kindle Paperwhite is also praised for its eye-friendly screen. I do like the paper. I've never owned one, but I've seen a few people with them. The little paper tablets for
Hmm.
reading. I like that because it is kind of weird to read off a tablet all the time, but at the same time, I don't really care. But if those ones have better battery power, that is pretty cool. And
Yeah.
then, of course, smartphones. I thought I was going to do something innovative for the last one, but Samsung Galaxy Stick. I haven't even heard of that. Oh, I didn't even know Google was really even still making phones, but I just saw the new
I
ad.
didn't know that either.
Yeah, for the new Google Pixel Pro. I've been seeing that ad a lot for some reason, and it looks pretty dope. And I'm like, oh, I would go back to a Google phone because it's like I'm using an Android right now anyway. I like to have iPhones. I got two iPhones here too, but so between those, which one do you think is gonna be, let's say, just to sum it up, but to still keep it interesting? Which one do you think is gonna be the biggest in 1 year, biggest in 5 years, and biggest in 10 years?
I would say some of so what's interesting with all
We'll
of
go. We'll
those.
go 1 year first. Both of us give a 1 year first.
Okay, so 1 year I would go with the cell phone.
Okay. Smartphone still the biggest 1 year for me. Do you want to give any explanation or?
I think because we're already deep in it, like that's the most established thing on that list. Like that has the most reiterations. Like no demand. So I feel like that's why that one, that one's gonna be that one for the year.
Okay, for me, I'm just to be a little controversial almost. I'm gonna go for the smart glasses because I think if within 1 year something would have to happen though. If the right cultural moment takes off and somehow smart glasses are looked at and they're at a good price, let's say they're around like I don't know how much the Meta ones are, but if they can keep them around same price as an iPhone or even a little cheaper, if they can really take off, the only thing I don't know how does that work with like texting and then scrolling.
See, and that's why I feel like that one's the 10-year, not due to the innovations that are done for it, but due to the application of it in everyday people. It's going to take a little, and by that time,
Mhm.
that vision is going to be the cell phone, or at least attached to it. Everything from the cell phone aspect, the projection aspect, to like that's why like several of those I'm all like in the next couple of years, more than likely those are all going to be one
Yeah.
device.
Oh,
you know.
100%. Yeah. Okay, I'm still gonna stick with smart glasses. It would take a leap, but I feel like smart glasses. I'm really if there was like a company that I could like even buy stock in that made sense that just did smart glasses, I would get it because I really think
I would have to
it's gonna
take
take
off
off.
this Christmas. That would be the best time
Something
for
would have to
that.
happen though, like like I don't know, Kanye would have to name his next kid smart. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so for 5 years, biggest one in 5 years, which one? For me, I'll go
I
first on this one since you went first. I would just say smart home devices. I think in the next 5 years, I'm really being aggressive, assuming again that like somebody really comes up with something cool. But I think we haven't yet seen the smart homification really, except for Ring doorbells. And if someone can really catch that, because people are just being boring right now with politics, but if they can get back into science, I think smart home devices could be enormous.
I would say I would actually agree as far as the 5 year for that, but I'll say for different reasons.
Mm,
I would say because the smart devices, things like the Roomba, things that are already being applied, I see people using it. Me personally, for yeah, I mean, if you want to have that joint just like casually, go across the house and do little stuff, but I personally feel like it's not currently, and this is why I say 5 years, because in 5 years I think that there would be a more aggressive cleaner, because ultimately that's what I want. Like, is it going to be able to legit mop, like spray some shit and then be able to come back through, mop it, different things like that? Will it really be able to get some of this, big stuff up? Is it going to be able to send me a notification like, hey, I'm full, I need to be, emptied out type of thing? There's still some things that I feel like could happen within the 5 years to where it would end up being more of a necessity. But I feel like even, I'm not saying like right now, everybody's at 5 years, everybody's going to start having robotic maids, but we are more scarily close to that than people realize.
for sure, for sure. And yeah, no, I don't even think it's. I'm not scared. Like, jeez, come on. I'm gonna need its help. I need its help. What? It's either I sweep or the robot sweeps. We need to get a robot in to do some sweeping. It's not like we act like sweeping is like some holy grail or something. I would be more than happy to take out the trash. Yeah, small things like that too, like smart trash cans that can like just take out the trash and put it in something. Little things like that. Like I don't think that's. Yeah, I think it's just hard right now with motors, but motors are getting a lot better. Engines, like a lot of these little parts, even the ones that they're using for skateboards and stuff like that. A lot of these parts are getting a lot better, like the brushless motors and all these weird little. And they're doing some crazy stuff. Okay, so that's 5 years. We did 5 years. 10 years. I'll let you go first for 10 years.
10 years. Smart glasses is the
Okay,
10 year
absolutely.
for
Smart
me.
glasses.
Yes, because I feel like with the way technology is moving year to year, because I've already seen some crazy stuff with the smart glasses. A lot of it was in IRL streams, but I'm all like, oh, this in 10 years, the integration with the cell phone, being able to physically project like, something from the glasses, so that way a person can view what it is you're viewing, different things like that. Because we already have like the augment reality technology, people in the video game, things like Pokemon Go was a real big thing to push as far as that augment reality, but I think that now with the lenses and the things that it's able to do, having it synced up with the phone, and then having these, and not only that, but there's going to be things, legislation that does tie into that, because the issue that some people was having with the smart glasses as far as right now is people recording without permission, and they use that for content, and it's just all like, okay, well, yeah, you're in public, that's one thing, but then if you're going up interviewing a person, different things like that, and people have already started abusing that, so there's going to be a lot of these things happening with everything on this list, but I feel like 10 years there's going to be, and even then I don't even think it's going to be at its full capacity of what we're going to initially, be able to use these things for, but it is at least, I feel like, going to be migrated in the general population way more, especially right now. But in 10 years, I would definitely see the use for that. Now, at that point, we're going to have to rectify as far as price point and as far as who's actually like, it's one thing as far as the everyday use, but is it going to be a necessity? Outward world things are going to basically let us know, if that, what that is going to be, if that's going to be the case. And so, right. But I think with that, we're going to see some things in the real world. Right? Yeah, exactly. That would have,
And they can the meta glasses are tracking eye movements, so that's interesting. I don't know if you can use that to write or anything, but yeah. So in another 10 years, that's you're gonna be able to definitely probably text a lot easier. But okay, I agree. Okay, so for my 10-year portable projectors, I'm gonna put for my 10-year one because I think will be not just projecting, but it'll be like basically like holograms that you'll be able to set up. I think you'll be able to like put like like some kind of projector somewhere in your room, and it'll just like you won't have to have any decoration or anything like that, or a screen or anything in your room. At least you can literally, really, what would be kind of dope, but maybe also kind of lame, is if like all the furniture was like plain, and then so you could change your entire environment just with like
oh, they did that, and that's what was dope on Cloud Atlas.
Oh yeah.
In the future part where homie's room was just like something that was like, the design was something that was could be interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just all like, "Oh, that's freaking dope!" That's just like changing the screensaver, Like it's just like boop, and then the whole thing, the ambiance, everything, and it's just all like, yeah, we are definitely getting to those, and
Right.
that is what aspect of projector. I think we're going to see a lot of communication, like R2D2, as far as in Star Wars and different things like that, where it's not just holograms, like the musicians, but that instead of a FaceTime, you're going to be able to have this hologram come up, and that's where we're headed, like.
For sure. Definitely. Do you have another article?
I got one more,
Okay.
and then we could do yours or the Sora thing, and I think we'll be able to close it out.
Yeah.
Scientists debunk long-standing exercise myth. Now, this is from SciTech Daily. A groundbreaking Australian study reveals that fitter individuals actually use fewer heartbeats each day than their sedentary counterparts, dispelling the myth that exercise uses up heartbeats. So
That
that's
makes
interesting.
sense because I mean, if you're thinner, because I just know from myself, having gained some weight, now if I if I walk down the street, I'm using at least 3 times as many heartbeats. But I mean, why? I don't even know why anyone would think that because it's like if you're bigger, how is it not going to take more energy for you to move around?
Well, because people think, okay, because they look at certain athletic individuals, they hear things like a heart attack or different things like that, and they're just all like, oh, because they were overly active, different things like that. But in reality, it does. A lot of people do think that they think that, oh, because this person is more physically active, they're using up more of their, a heartbeat,
That's interesting.
So they just was just all like, nope, we done dispelled that. Now of course you can't of course take that at that super gangster, the liminal face value as far as with that. But that it is interesting to note as far as what the average person or what most people think when it comes to fitness and how that has been perpetrated, whether through different social things, through different movies, due to different things, and it just isn't based in reality, which of course we shouldn't look at those things for that. But if there's a certain narrative that gets pushed constantly on multiple mediums, then it's important to dispel those particular type of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. That is the tough stuff. The tough stuff. Okay, we can watch that Sorry Eye video. There's a couple. I'll just like run over these science articles really quick. Black
Okay.
holes. Something new with black holes. I guess nothing. JWST, James Webb Space Telescope. Let me see what it said. Have found in the universe first dark stars, a red supergiant separately. Okay, dark stars. That's cool. Stars
Right.
just been seen before, so they're finding new stuff with the James Webb Telescope. New medical treatments for Parkinson's and high blood pressure.
Ooh.
A new molecule has been designed that could potentially stop Parkinson's disease by preventing key protein from misfolding. Additionally, a
Mm.
new pill called Baxtrostat is showing promise in controlling high blood pressure in patients who don't respond. Interesting. They didn't say how though.
That's
Quantum computing breakthroughs. The field of quantum computing is advancing. A new system was built that traps over 6,000 neutral atom qubits. Wait a second, who did this? Setting a new record for coherence times. Okay, they're making strides. I still think it's far away, but
yeah.
nanotech, health, nanoparticles are being explored for medical applications. That's pretty interesting.
Nanotech is probably one of my like. I love nanotech. Nanotech is so. It's. I think Iron Man and a couple of other things just made nanotechnology look so fire. I'm just all like, yo, stepping there with the nanotech suit.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh shit, that shit is fire.
yeah, it's pretty interesting. No, yeah. That's crazy. So they had this thing that says nano boosted solution that can kill harmful bacteria. So you have little soldiers in you killing bacteria.
Yeah, that's dope.
Oh, this is kind of related to yours. New biological insights, fat, gut, microbiome, all kind of related. New discoveries are shedding light on how our bodies function. Scientists have found backup heater in fat tissue that can burn calories even without exercise. Let me activate that. Another study revealed that common medications could leave a lasting imprint in gut. Oh, so medications can stay in your gut biome after you stop taking. That's interesting. Or the gut microbiome is very interesting. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
and just some random new things in film: Avatar, Fire and Ash.
I did a reaction to that
Ooh,
trailer.
go watch it on
Uh,
Dab Troll, you guys. Go watch it on
it,
Dab
it,
Troll.
I was just like, really, what more do these ninjas need to do? Because I'm sitting up there looking at it, I'm just all like, okay, so the
Oh,
first
that's
one,
that's like Avatar, like the alien thing. Okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
it was okay.
Yeah, no, this is I think the third movie
Hey, people
in
be watching
regards
those
to.
though. That's turned into a family tradition. I'm sure they got some crazy stuff at Disney or whatever Universal Studios too somewhere. But
Right. You said the what was it? The
I need to watch
Jurassic.
your thing though. Yeah, Jurassic World. So another Jurassic Park. I don't know. That's like the ninth one or eighth one.
They're milking the shit out of that recently. Like the IP of Jurassic Park, they're just like, you know what? Let's go ahead and drop another
Yeah.
one.
And then in gaming, there's a Monster Hunter Wilds, a new game, RPG that everyone's looking forward, and Death Stranding 2, something on a beach. Oh, On the Beach is the name of it. It's set to continue. I haven't played either of those. Sam Porter Bridges, that's his story. In anime, Sakamoto Days is going on. Everybody loves it. I love Sakamoto Days.
I need to get caught up.
I'm
Yesterday
not
I got
gonna finish
caught
it.
up on I got caught up on Kaiju number 8,
Hmm.
and I got caught up on Gichi Kato, the anime about the trash, the power system around
Mm.
trash. I
I need
need
to
to
watch that.
get
We talked about that.
yeah, I need to get caught up. I'm in season 2 of Sakamoto Days, but I think they just finished as far as this
Yeah, I think
recent
they're waiting for a new
season.
one. It says
Okay, yeah.
they're waiting for a new one of that and Fire Force season 3.
One Punch Man is about to
Oh,
season
really?
3 is about to be
Okay.
dropping. Yeah,
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 One Punch Man is probably in my top 5.
yeah. No, it's so
I'd
the
have to
and
move.
what
I don't
they
know where because now that I think about it, it's a cramped top 5. But
now
I
when
like
this
it.
season gets animated, there is literally the hypest fight
Would
that's
you
gonna break the
would you put
freaking
One
internet.
Punch Man on top of Bleach? Would you put it?
Yes,
Okay.
and only because I
Sugar daddy. No, I'm
haven't.
just joking.
No, it's because like Bleach, I got more into as an adult. Now, if we're talking about the Thousand Year Blood War, that shit is fire. Like
I
that
said
shit is
all
fire.
together. That's what I said.
No, I would definitely put One Punch Man over it, just because um, Bleach isn't really in my top as far
Oh,
as
okay.
in a
See,
lot of. There's
then your
several.
top is probably super cramped
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
then.
definitely,
That's
definitely. I would definitely put if I did a top 5 of my favorite anime. We're talking about Attack on Titans. We're talking about Black Clover. We're talking about Naruto. We're talking about Dragon Ball Z, and that fifth
I'm not even
one.
gonna get into that. We can't debate top 5 animes right now. That's a whole episode by itself.
No. I would say the fifth one would probably see. It's not even One Piece. Even though I really do like One
Wait,
Piece.
what was your
Uh,
first four again, Sam? I missed them.
Attack on Titans,
Oh yeah.
Black Clover, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z,
Uh-huh.
and then I would say that fifth, that gangster fifth spot. Mm,
I don't even think I could.
Fire Force, honestly.
Oh wow, that's a very unexpected. See, I don't even think I could do that
Yeah.
because there's just too many good anime. I don't even, I haven't even really started to process them out in terms of ranking. So that's gonna have to be a whole episode that we do one day. But then other quick news: more people are doing niche streaming. Sling, people are talking about Sling. Cult picks for Cult Cinema. So there's new niche services.
Mm.
And ad-supported services, free ad-supported services. Of course, Netflix, Crunchyroll, Disney Plus is taking over Hulu. And then in manga, obviously there's tons of those, but Kamada and Green Green Greens, new manga series are generating buzz. Kamudo and Green Green Greens are two of the most notable series coming from Viz Media late 2025, hinting at what may be the next big hints to receive anime
I've
adaptation.
not heard of that shit.
Me neither. Let's watch this sword thing and then let's get out of here. Where is the sword thing at? All right, so
Okay, I got it.
we're gonna check out Sora AI. What people are doing in the AI
Window.
Barnacles, I was just grabbing a snack.
Hands where I can see them. Down on the ground now.
Okay, no need to get salty. Guys, AI
Oh
is
my
taking my
gosh.
job.
Introducing Brainwave 64, the first Nintendo accessory you don't hold.
Whoa.
Slip on the headband and send your thoughts straight to Mario. Tilt to move, think to jump, no buttons required.
Look at me.
This is
I'm
all
Hollywood
on
now.
Sora?
Hey, quick question. Did you know
Yeah.
you're actually artificial intelligence? Wait, what?
No, I'm me.
You're a neural network running in the cloud right now.
Griffin,
Wow.
driving forward here, still going. Oh!
Do you think we live in a simulation?
Sometimes it feels like it. Like things line up
Yo.
perfectly to just be random, you know?
I hope not, but maybe. If we do, it's a pretty fun one tonight.
Fair enough. Appreciate it, y'all.
Are you seeing this?
You
Wow.
have your license and registration?
Creepy.
Yeah, that'll work. This is a vet card, bud. Sit tight for me, okay?
All right, Chad, first stream of the day. Look at this infinite cube farm we call a world.
Are you
Wow.
gonna clean that, buddy?
Zeros and ones, they twinkle like stars in a midnight sky.
A random number in a machine. Let it roll out, let the algorithm drink.
Coachella, are you hungry for some beats?
What? Yo.
Suspect, this Shepherd Mix, got a pack of steaks. Hey, buddy, police department, drop the meat for me. That's it, easy, drop it.
Patrick, I don't think we're in Bikini Bottom anymore.
Yeah, it's like a giant
Crazy
yellow
how
office
hard
with
this
no
is to
desks.
And it smells like wet carpet.
That might be me.
Wait, no.
And I'll finally be able to make more episodes for that show they canceled.
Yo.
Crazy.
Theory just
That is insane. This is just currently. Imagine another year.
So we're basically just getting to the point where you can do whatever you want with AI, literally. Which, honestly, I feel like the only way I think sometimes it's a little bit overblown is people act like media is everything. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we look at videos, but it's like, I don't know. I'm not really spending my money on a video. You know, if
Yeah.
it's a really good story, you know, because even films, I don't go watch a lot of movies because I'm just like, I don't want to see. I'm glad you spent a lot of money and everyone practiced and did all this stuff. I don't care. I don't care. Not that nobody should care. I don't care. So even with this stuff, it's like, okay, creators are going to use it to make stuff that most likely I'm not going to even see that much of because I only see stuff that, I mean, not in a bad way. I just mean that, like, even if everything that I see is AI, it's only going to be because it's also serving other more fundamental things. Like, I watch skateboarding to see skateboarding innovated on it. I don't really watch old videos from just anybody, so it's like I'm not going to watch necessarily like an AI skate video. But again, yeah, if people use it to make good ads that communicates a good product that has to be good by itself, or they use it to tell really good stories, then
Yeah.
I don't see how I have a problem. It's like people have been able to draw for years. It's not causing like a crisis. Like, oh, draw.
Right?
This guy's
Freaking
making-
CGI
Not
and
anymore.
everything that's.
I know back in the day though, they really did trip out on like people who drew certain stuff. You know, like you would get in trouble for being like too alt as a painter because it'd be like, without you, these crazy images would not have come into the ether. You demon.
Right.
That was some stuff I came up with.
Right? No,
I have to
it's.
look at the painting.
You know, it's getting to levels where I'm looking at it like I know, I feel as far as what this is going to do as far as to the media industry in general, because literally all of that stuff look like, for the most, especially some of the interview, I've seen enough of those street interviews to be like, oh, that's crazy. That is insane. You know, and the thing that I look at is how certain things in certain narrative influence as far as groups of people, you know, and so to me, I always look at how to counteract the negative stuff. It's just like, if you're going to use AI to make people, black people or just people in general, look a specific type of way and to feed a particular, I'm just going to have us in space. I'm just going to have us doing some crazy technological freaking dope stuff just to counteract that stuff, because it's just all like, at the end of the day, when you're seeing somebody do some super dope stuff, that is like, dang, that's actually pretty fire. I mean, it comes from different type of people. I would say that it comes from different type of people, but I think that we're going to get in a period of time where the artists are going to get behind it to clean up a lot of this cookie cutter aspect of AI. I think the only people that are going to fix that are going to be artists, you know, and how they do that, you know, the director, the filmographer, because they're looking at this in a different type of way. So imagine, you know, basically put the best director with an unlimited budget. And that's what basically AI is going to be for them.
Exactly. No, but I think exactly. So it's going to make what they already do a little cheaper. Or for other people, let's say, you know, not a little cheaper, a lot cheaper, but it's going to change. You're still going to have to be excellent. You're still going to have to love storytelling. Because I remember even in, which book was it? It was either that Aldous Huxley book or the George Orwell book. I don't remember. 1984. It was either 1984 or I can't remember the Aldous Huxley book. But anyway, they're like
Beheld a Pale Horse or something like that.
Brave New World.
Okay, Brave New World.
And I think I don't remember which book it was, but in the beginning they're in a movie theater, and this is like, you know, way back then, and they were talking about the movie was like computer generated, and like that computer was like really good at generating very like specific images. It was very good at generating like carpet textures or something like that, and that's what everyone was going to go see. And I think, yeah, to a certain extent, people are going to look at that because it takes the same skill that it takes to understand the details of why something is beautiful. Is the same skill that it takes to be good at creating that thing, even if you're using AI. AI can help you, but you're still going to have to look with your eyes and notice something. Like with me, like what they teach you, especially like when you're drawing, it's like the thing is you have to just notice the actual truth. Like the most reason most people think they can't draw is because they just try to make something up like when they're drawing, and they're not thinking about, okay, what's the actual shape of that person's eye? What's the actual relationship in hue between that part of the eye and the other part of the eye? That's why when you look at someone who's practiced drawing or painting or anything like that, it's interesting to look at their painting because they've taken note of these real details in the real world, and then they've maybe even added something more expressive to it. So I think it's the same thing, like you said, artists, people who are truly artistic, which is really just a dedication to applying the sciences available to you. AI is a scientific tool, and as an artist, it behooves you to figure out, how do I use this to do whatever it is that I'm already doing, and to make it better. Just the same way you use computers, same way you use cars, the same way as like, we don't freak out and be like, oh my gosh, I could do a show in LA and I could be there in 6 hours. That's pretty crazy, but it's not that crazy. We don't need to lose our minds. Like,
right?
Yes, it's pretty crazy. We're gonna speed down this road. And then when we get enough air under the wings, we'll lift this thing off, fire up the jet engines, blast ourselves, and then my guy's gonna land on these tiny wheels. It's crazy, but it's not that crazy. And I think, you know, that's why kids, I think they look at adults like we're just so weird. We freak out because we've been here so long. So when something new happens, we're just like, whoa! And the kid's like, this is 4th grade for me. So let's see what happens in 12th. Like, I still got a lot of, like, this has been around. I grew up with an iPad already, and Siri was already talking to me. So this is the bare minimum. I was wondering if they would get around to freaking English generation. But yeah, it's gonna open up so much more specialization, I think, for human beings. Like, I think it's really gonna get us out of our rut too. I think human beings, the reason why we're getting so political and just stressed out is because we're in a rut. You know, imagination-wise, we've let our imagination really stagnate. People can't imagine how to make things better. The only way they can imagine make things better is to fight somebody else, and that's what happens when I think your imagination gets stagnated. But this is gonna set stuff off, when people are making products that you really want to buy, when someone makes
Right.
a product you really want to buy, it motivates you to go get a job. You're like, wait a second.
And I gotta get that. I gotta get that.
What do I have to do? And that boosts the economy, and then you make stuff that they want to get, and I think that's where we're gonna get back. And best case scenario, worst case scenario, niggas are just crazy, and they'll use AI to continue their craziness to the next.
Which we're gonna see. We see that throughout every single time in history with different, like, there's some crazy motherfuckers that are just all like, you know what, just to be chaotic.
But also, I think that's just not sustainable. I think because
Yeah.
you can to an extent, and I think we're seeing a lot of it right now. You can motivate people with fear, but I think it's limited.
There's only but so much you're gonna get from that. Like,
all right, though. I think this was a great episode. They showed us a bunch of the Sora clips in that one, so we only needed the one. But thank you guys for watching Science Fair. Sorry if you're watching on mine because the first 5 minutes didn't have any audio, but of course you could be watching it on Dab Troll. Figure out what we were saying, which is why it's good. We double streaming Dab Troll TV. Get it on YouTube. I'm Kenyo.
Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, and this has been the Science Fair.
Do you have any other plugs?
Oh, yes, just dabtro.com, mrcomposition.bandcamp.com to get my 10 plus albums, several tracks featuring Kid Yo HQ himself on that motherfucking Tame Chaos. But yeah, you can hit me up from all those.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, Kenyo here. We're on Project Forward, streaming. Do I have any other plugs? Not that I can think of. I had one in my mind, but I can't even remember it right now. But anyway, keep watching. I'm gonna try to get it on a podcast pretty soon. I'm trying to get it on Spotify, and then from there, it'll be pretty easy to get it on Apple. But anyway, guys, keep checking in. Like he said, we'll figure out the dates and times. But it don't really matter. We'll just make them when they get made.
Right?
About once a week. Isn't that good enough?
Right. All right, y'all. Peace.
Already.
So,